here's a little bit of poetry before we start the podcast. The Green Beast by Words for Elysium. The sounds of distant aviation, turbines across the night, a noise that triggers a memory of an aircraft out of sight, a double clap of rotor blades. The Green Beast is close to the ground. The night whispers of past journeys and time when we were proud. Now the beast taunts us with its acoustic repertoire, and applause to the warriors who have forgotten who they are. Welcome back, Season 2, Blue Pigment Podcast. I hope you're all happy to be here. I am. I've got some guests lined up for the first time. Season 1 was just about art and creativity. This season is going to be about the benefits of that creativity and that art and how that can help you mentally. Don't be shy. Don't shy away from it. Just accept that that's who you are and start doing some amazing art. Why not? So today's guest that I've got lined up to you is a guy called Graham Cullis. He's a YouTuber, artist, vlogger, and a mental health ambassador. He's done lots of great stuff for mental health in the past and art and creativity, which includes a mental health festival, which I definitely plan to talk to him about that. He also does he's started up a karma card project. I'm not really sure what it's about, so I'm going to ask Graham all about that and see if we can get the insight to it. And yeah, stay tuned for a fantastic episode coming up. You're listening to Blue Pigment Podcast, sponsored by Huscarl. Go to huscarl.co.uk to see some of their fantastic artwork. You can get yourself a custom-made t-shirt, printout, or stickers. Huscarl were the bodyguards to King Harold. When King Harold was killed, the Huscarl did not admit defeat, and they went on to fight to the death, sticking to their guns and being loyal to what they believed to the end. And that is what Huscarl brand stands for, being loyal to who you are as a person. Go to huscarl.co.uk, that's Huscarl. And when you get to Huscarl and you go to the checkout, use discount code BluePigment for 10% off. Follow the you, not the fallen.
Like you always get the best. you always get the best shit at the beginning and then the best shit at the end. That's one of these, like what someone advised me to do with interviewing. So you just go in recorded, because it's like you never know what you're going to be talking about. So even all the bits at the beginning, it's like
all the juicy gossip about your cable's not working.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's like you never know what you're going to get.
Right, you're actually my first interviewee. So my podcast before has just been artists and their form of art, and I've just used my podcast to help display their form of art. So you're actually my first interviewee, but this is going to be episode 1, season 2 of Blue Pigment Podcast, which is going to be mainly
Are you looking at you got a mic, an external camera?
Yeah.
Oh,
do you want me to look at you? Hi.
Well, it's just like I'm all about eye contact, no, but it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. I know what it's like. You look at me on the screen, and I'll look at you looking at me.
Oh, brilliant! Right. So this is for those who don't know, this is Graham Cullis. He's a YouTuber, an artist, a vlogger, and a mental health ambassador. Love the work you've done. I've been looking at your YouTube videos. Some of them are really cool. The sort of your creativity just on the videos, let alone the art that you're performing on the videos. Your painting that you're doing on the videos is phenomenal. But then your videos and the way that you edit them and stuff is that's its own form of creativity in its own.
Well, that's what I say to people mostly. Like video and storytelling is actually my main form of art, and then discovering art as in a painting medium drove the narrative for me to be able to do that and for people to take notice. So it's like I've always liked doing video edits for people, and I find that's where I'm most creative. I love it. I love telling stories, and I love like learning about how to create engaging content. And so when I discovered art, it was like now I've got something that I can go, oi, look at me. Here's me painting really well. And now I've got your attention. Look at my amazing edits.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, you know, the reason I'm looking here at you, and there's the camera.
Yeah.
And it's because I've got like my sponsors. This is Huskal. He's a friend of mine. He's an artist. He does t-shirt brands. It's really cool. But yeah, I'm just sort of, this is my display, I guess. Like you've got yours at the back. You've got
you know what you could do? You could just wear the t-shirt.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah, fair one. I didn't think of that. Yeah, so I saw in one of your YouTube videos, you had a thing about karma cards. Do you want to talk to us about that? What's that about?
Yeah. Okay, well, I suppose like you probably want a bit of context and backstory. I've got them in my bag here because I take them around with me as well, because I find that my karma cards as an art, are they in my bag? Where are they? I thought they were in. Yes, they are. They're kind of like business cards in a way, of like with all my details on there, and it's a nice thing to give to people. So anyway, before I start, by the way, I am a waffler, so hopefully you've got a good editor for your podcast.
I am the editor.
Yes, you're wearing all the hats just like me. Yeah. All right, okay. So so basically, the Karma Card project for your listeners is, as some of your listeners are your Patreon followers as well, which you should definitely subscribe to this and put more than £1 in a month, because he worked hard on this. So yeah, basically I have, and you know, your listeners are getting your hours of content that you give out every month, you know, and that's what they're buying into. They love your message, and you know, they're supporting you that way. So basically with my Patreon, what I want to give back to, well firstly, what I give back to my followers is that I am a mental health ambassador, and I wouldn't be able to do that job. I wouldn't be able to do my video content, which has a mental health message. I wouldn't be able to do that with another full-time job, because it's just, I would go into burnout. And I did at the beginning, I did try that. I had a full-time job alongside painting, creating the video blogs, interviewing people in the mental health space. And I was in burnout. But as my Patreon following grew and people were signing up to my Karma Card project, which came to me in a dream, it's enabled me to quit my job, and it's paying me just a sustainable amount now. I get roughly about a part-time wage out of it, and then I can top it up with a couple of paintings a month, and then I'm breaking even, and I'm living the good life, you know, living my best life. It's amazing, and I thank all of my Patreon supporters, Karma Card supporters. You are absolute legends if you're listening, and they constantly hear that from me anyway. Like I was saying just before we went recorded, I like to connect with them every month, so I just sent them a lovely little message. But yeah, so as I said, I'm waffling. The Karma Card project is what I give back to my Patreon followers. So I'm an artist, I do painting, and I thought I want to give something back which is participatory as well, so that they can then spread some love around the world themselves. So is this going to be video format as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, but I'll make sure that I do it podcasty style as well. So I'm holding up some Karma Cards now for the people that are listening to on the podcast. They're basically envelopes. So gift cards with an envelope. I give 6 of these every 6 months to my Patreon supporters. So here's one of them here. This is a gift card with a painting of a wave that I did, and inside it's blank. Okay, and the idea is that you fill in that blank. You can either keep the ones you like, because you get 6 different designs every 6 months. You keep the ones you like. You might like this one. You might want to send that one on, and then so you keep the ones you like, and then you send the rest on as positive messages. So you basically write a little letter of love to someone, send it to them without, you know, as a random act of kindness. And I find that's a very powerful message to do, because like you make people feel seen, you know, like, so you might not even know that person you sent the card to, you might just be on a reconnection with them, and you might not realize that they're going through some stuff at that time. But if you just send a lovely little message saying you're thinking about them, how awesome they are, and loads of positive affirmations, you know, they're going to get that through the door, and it's going to be powerful. And the feedback that I've got from it's been amazing. I've had people reach out to me that have received these cards that don't know anything about me. I'm like, Graham, I just wanted to thank you, because I really needed that message at a time, and I love that project that you're doing, and because obviously all my details are on the back, they can get hold of me that way. And yeah, it's just been incredible, actually.
It's a really good gesture, actually, really good thought. Because one of the things I always think about with mental health is if you're struggling with mental health, sometimes helping other people with their mental health has that detrimental effect on you, not detrimental effect, like a positive effect on you, where you get positivity out of it because you're helping somebody else, and that positivity helps you. So that's, just a really good step, just not just the creativity, but the step in displaying your work. Other people getting to love it, other people going, I'm going to do something with this, and I'm going to help somebody else. That's fantastic. That's awesome.
That's why it's called the Karma Card Project, in that the word karma means, to put positive out, you get positive back. You put horrible stuff out, you get horrible back, and it's very true, like the more positive messages you put out into this world, the more good you're going to manifest for yourself as well. And the ripple effects are just exponential. It just carries on, makes waves. And if you think about now, I've got 123 countries that I send these to, with about 142 patrons who will support me for like a price of a coffee. But then times that by 6, that's how many ripples are being sent out into the world, which is I think there's nothing bad's going to come of that.
No, it's powerful. It's positive and it's powerful. That's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm forces. So when I was out on operational tours, we had people that would do parcels. Didn't know these people at all. They'd make a parcel and send it out, and that just receiving a parcel that had a new toothbrush, some new toothpaste. It was just an amazing thing. That a gift of kindness is, and like you say, the karma cards is that kind of subtle kindness that you're injecting into somebody. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I always, there's a question that I think of, and I don't know how to word it properly, but it's how do we, as sort of mental health ambassadors, destroy the stigma around mental health? And the reason I say I don't like that question is because the word stigma is kind of negative now. So how do we, without using the word stigma, get rid of stigma?
Yeah. Okay. Well, when you see the two words mental health. Now, I recently did some trauma training because I'm setting up a CIC at the moment, so we're trying to go through as many trainings as possible. So when we do work with these people, that we've got a bit of knowledge and a bit of things to think about, philosophies. And this one thing that came up was those two words, mental health. Okay, so what do you think? What do you initially think of when someone says mental health to you? What words do you think?
I suppose the way I see it is when you say the word safe.
Or just initially in a pop, just pop back words straight away. Let's say mental health. Give me a couple of words that come into your mind initially.
Mind, brain, consciousness, and healthy.
Wow. Yeah, you just did the opposite. Amazing. But do you know what? Most people, and that's what blew my mind actually, because initially I was like, yeah, anxiety and struggles, whatever, all these negative words came into my mind. I think the majority of people, when they see mental health, they don't think of like the words you just said, positivity and excitement, and if we need to start associating it with good positive words, and
so
I think we can get.
The other way of flipping it is if you'd ask me what do you think of the words mental ill health, and then that would give the indication of the anxiety, depression, sleepless nights.
So we should have to add that in, but mental health should be we've got a great body and mind and tools that we can use to have a great life, but the thing is, people don't they see the words mental health and they immediately would go for the negative words. And I think what we need to do is just reframe it, and that's how we can destroy the stigma.
It's strange, because when you say the words physical health, people don't automatically think of people that are struggling with health. When you say physical health, people think of somebody that's going to the gym a lot and looking after their physical health.
Exactly.
So mental health is these people. If you're mentally healthy, you're probably spending as much time as you would on your mind as you would in the gym if you were trying to be healthy in body. That waffling now, I'm waffling.
No, that's all good. It's all good. It's deep. It's so deep.
Yeah. So, yeah, what do you reckon the process, you know, being creative, what is it about being creative and the process of being creative that helps with mental health?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, it's not for everyone. Like creative outlets, mental health is not a one shoe fits all. You know. So, but for me, like when I discovered art, I've been a creative person since I was born. Anyway, you know, since as far back as I can remember, I've been like into music as well. I've been in bands before, and but like painting and art, I didn't really take. I went down the musical route, and I remember being okay at art at school. But when I discovered it in Bali, I could paint. I went on a couple of art classes, and then it turns out that I'm not too bad, and everyone's like, you need to buy some paintbrushes. I then went through some mental illness myself. It was in the height of the pandemic, lockdown one. I was working a job which was a sales job, which wasn't autonomous. So I was working nights consistently. And then the pressures of the pandemic, where it's a sales job, we were losing all our accounts. And then there was a breakdown with my bosses back home. And like, it was very dysfunctional. And I had a few other things, curveballs that hit me at the same time, and it basically put me into depression, and I needed to take some time out. But for me, like because I discovered the art and I started painting every day because I knew I had to come home, but I decided that I would paint every day. And what that did for me was it gave me company, and it gave me a distraction. It gave me meditation. So I was literally, when I was at the easel, hours and hours would go past, and I was able to sit there and introspect and then reconnect with music, and it was just amazing, such a great experience. Yeah, I think it was really helpful to me, like just having something that's meditative, you know, something that helps you think and makes, you know. And I've made so many great decisions during that time, even though I was going through a very dark time. I could have just been, because what I would normally do is I would recluse and I would sit indoors, and hours would take hours, if you know what I mean. But now, like, the days went fast, and I was actually waking up looking forward to going and sitting up at my easel, you know, rather than just sitting in bed and ordering junk food and watching something toxic on Netflix.
Yeah, that's kind of like the way society is now, isn't it? It's trying to, or mainstream society maybe, it's good to try and get people away from what they're doing on a 9 to 5, or, you know, in a day-to-day basis, get them away from what they do every day and give them something new that they haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
And that could open up a whole new world to them. So if you could 100%. go back to before you had your, you know, mental ill health period, and tell yourself something, well, what would it be?
Well, you mean like to give myself a bit of guidance through that time?
Yeah, or to stop that time happening entirely.
Well, the thing is, like, it was. I don't think it would have stopped, and I think there's anything I could have done to stop that. But I think that if I were to go back and talk to myself, of course, I would be like, you know, maybe this time that's going to happen. Or if I was like, you know, I was to go back in time and tell my future self about something that's going to happen. Sorry, I'm waffling again. I would basically tell myself, you're about to go through something pretty tough, and just so you know, like, it's this, you need to embrace these times, because everything that you do now is carving and creating a path for your future. And yeah, everything, and so where you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful message anyway, to just give yourself, is just to say, just keep going, do what you're doing. Something's coming up, you know.
And I do that now, you know, and even before that time, and when I was during that time, I kind of had that philosophy anyway. You know, I knew I was hurting and I was in a dark place, but I was telling myself that, you know, I'm a big boy now. I've been through a few things in my life, and yeah, I mean, I suppose I should really go back to the time when I broke up with my first girlfriend when I was 17. So then, yeah, I would like to be able to tell myself that advice then. But, you know, you learn all that stuff as you go through all these different things.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, you talk about the path. like we're all on a journey. We're all going down this path, and there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be ups and downs. I suppose in a way, if you're in a good mental health now, before that happens, before that bump in the road is a good place to be. So if you're struggling, if somebody out there is struggling with mental ill health, is to get it sorted as soon as possible, because at some point on your path, there will be a bump, and you need to be in the best mindset as you can. And not only that, if you can pre-see your path in front of you, and it's a mundane path that you've always been going down, and everyone's always expected you to be on this path, maybe throw in a challenge here or there to get yourself off that path and raise yourself up a mountain, get out of the valley and, better yourself in some way. And if that's through creativity, that's fantastic. Or if it's through sport or developing or encouraging your social life, that's cool too. So I've got a few questions lined up for you. One of the main ones I really wanted to get out is when you think about art and creativity, what is one misconception that you would like to debunk? Because everyone has a misconception of their career line or like for me, it being in the army, the misconception is that everyone in the army is a bit, knuckle-headed, maybe a bit of a thug, whereas there's actually a lot of characters and individuals and in the army, and people that have their own character that they don't get to display all the time, because as soon as somebody sees somebody in the army, they think, they see the uniform and they have a misconception. And so the reason this podcast really exists is to kind of break down that barrier and say, no, that's not true. Everyone in the army is an individual. Treat people as you find them, not as they appear. What would you say if there's a misconception within sort of the art world, or you'd like to debunk?
There's a misconception in the art world that people. Basically, one thing I would like to tell everyone is that the art world is not exclusive one bit. Okay, and everyone. I believe everyone as being human is intrinsically arty. You have art inside you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be doing fine art oil paintings, or you're going to be going to acting in a Hollywood movie. You don't have to be like that well trained or anything like that. I believe to be human is to be able to create art. So that's one thing I would like to tell people, that because that actually puts a lot of people off. They see some of the snobbery and the snootery that surrounds the art world and think, oh, well, that's not for me, when that's total BS. Like, it's for everyone. And like, I didn't discover art until I was 38. I'm 39 now, and so I think that's young. One thing. Yeah, thank you very much. Aloe vera and cocoa butter. That's something that I would like to sort of stamp out, and that's one of the reasons why I am setting up this youth club. It's for young people from 12 to 25, and I want to introduce that art to people, whether it's for therapeutic benefits or just to have a new hobby and try something new and something you never tried before. Okay, and I think that's like something I'm very passionate about right now.
Yeah, that's cool. So your art form mainly is, you said, like the video creativity of the videos and the arts that your paintings and stuff is kind of like another form that you also practice. Mine's poetry. I do a bit of poetry.
Amazing.
I try my hand at poetry. I don't know if they're any good. A couple of people have got my first poem tattooed on their ribs, which is quite cool.
Wow.
It's quite sweet. But so I was always worried when I first was like, I like poetry, or like writing poetry. I was always worried that people were going to think I'm a bit of a soft touch, or a bit, that they need to sort of get a grip, why are you writing this poetry type stuff, because I was in the army, I thought that that's the way I'd be treated, but I wasn't at all. As soon as I finally came out and said, it just said, this is my artwork, this is what I'm into. People are like, that's fantastic. I love what you're doing there. That's cool.
And if anyone did say that you were soft, you go, well, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah, well, there you go. And not only that, everything. So the definition of the word art is the manifestation of human creativity. So everything you look at that has you know, that's been designed by a human is some sort of form of art. They've created an object. If you take for even just like the way that this is held up, at some point there would have been a schematic. Somebody would have drawn how this would have worked, you know, how a desk would have worked, how a chair would have worked. And that creativity has led us on to being a phenomenal species that has gone to the moon and been in space and all this sort of stuff. So creativity is everywhere and art is everywhere.
Art is everywhere, for sure. And I totally 100% agree.
So is there anything else that you'd like to add during this episode, this podcast? Like, where can we find your work?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm really trying to grow my YouTube channel, which is something that is really hard. And it's something that takes a lot of patience as well and persistence. So if any of your listeners want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Graham Cullis Art, yes, please come along and interact and hit the like button, smash the bell and chat in the comments. But yeah, so I've actually just recently started catering my my video blogging into more of a YouTube kind of pace, because there is definitely a formula to it. But actually that's something I'm really enjoying learning. So yes, that's the platform that people would like people to engage with me the most. I also have Instagram and Facebook. Now, the good thing about following me on Instagram and my Facebook page is that you also get to experience the immersive experience of my commission process as well. So I do, the way I do my paintings it's called the surprise commission. Now, anyone that signs up for my paintings has no idea what they're getting. Okay, they have no idea what they're getting. I get to choose the subject image every time, which I feel very lucky about as well. And lots of artists are like, Graham, what the hell? How did you manage to get that? How did you manage to figure that out? I'm like, well, basically, people are signing up for an experience rather than just a painting. So what they do is they come to me, and sometimes it comes with a mental health story. Like a few of my painting commissions, there's been a story behind it which meant something for them. People come to me with a brief of what they want, you know, and then what I do is then I look into their social medias, or I might have a chat with one of their friends or family in secret with their permission. And then when the intuition strikes and hits me, I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm paying. Well, that's what I'm painting. Then I then start creating. And then if they're, obviously I get them to follow me on my Instagram and Facebook if they are using those platforms. If not, I'll just send them all of the videos anyway. But what I do is I do a story feed of the painting being made and created, so they get to see it, this surprise unfold before their eyes. And of course then they tag their friends in, and then I get traffic from their followers because they're like, what the hell is going on here? What's this crazy dude doing, painting you this picture? It's really nice. And then obviously I time-lapse video blog the whole process of the art, and then that goes into one of my video blogs as well, so they get like a little lasting memory of the experience. So yeah, so that's a great reason to follow my Instagram and Facebook. You get to see all of those stories unfold as well, which is really nice. So
yeah, the YouTube, I went and checked out your YouTube. Amazing work. The video editing you've done there is really cool. I saw the one where you were talking about the documentary that you're involved with, which was fantastic. The mental health festival you did down in which beach was it again? Great Western Beach. Great Western. So yeah, that was lovely. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of work, and that month it was crazy for me. And like I said, if I didn't have my Patreon supporters, there's no way I would have been able to do all that, because I was juggling so much at that time, putting together a festival and doing my commissions, creating the video blog. It was just so much coming in, loads of curveballs as well. I had a friend reach out to me and wanted me to, so I was releasing my karma cards at the same time as well. I do it every 6 months. So that's a really big job. So that all happened at the same time. But yeah, I had a friend recently reach out to me who wants me to paint a picture for him and his daughter, because, just a long story short, he hasn't got long to live. So that sort of hit me at the same time. But I tell you what, I absolutely love my job, and I feel like I've got purpose now. And it's just such a trip. And that festival was just like a nice little icing on the cake, just to wrap the month up. What's this happy birthday sort of project thing you're doing as well? Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes. It's my dad's birthday on the 8th of August. Give us a little.
Oh, you want me to do a birthday for your dad?
Why not? Why not, Ken?
Oh my gosh! Right, okay. Oh, luckily I have my birthday hat and my ukulele right here. It's in tune as well. Can you believe it? It's like I pre-planned this. No, okay. Well, so basically, what's your dad's name?
Ken.
Ken. All right. Okay. Let's do this. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ken. Happy birthday to you. Oh. Yeah! Happy birthday, Ken! I hope you're having a lovely time. I hope that ash spoils you rotten, and I hope your day is full of love, hugs, happiness, and cake! There we go. Like, do you know what? When I looked at some of your episodes, it was like singer. I'm like, oh no! Like, hopefully he doesn't want me to sing a song. But then you totally did.
That's perfect. No, that's perfect. I like that. That's absolute character.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the birthday thing actually started about 10 months ago. Now I've been. You know when you look at your Facebook page and there's like 5 or 6 people that have a birthday, and you're like, one of them might be lucky enough to get a wall post from you, and that's probably about it. So I thought, you know what the hell? There's these 5 people whose birthday is. I'm just going to start like sending them video messages saying, "Hey mate, happy birthday! How's it going? Like, I haven't spoken to you for a while, and hope you have a lovely day." And then it kind of sort of. I started doing, and then I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do this every day. And then I started singing one line of Happy Birthday, like the end line. And like, Happy birthday, dear James. And then I was like, do you know what? I've got a guitar. I'm going to learn how to play Happy Birthday. And then I started playing guitar, like nice somber guitar, Happy Birthday. And then I started doing punk versions. And then I got my sister's ukulele. She gave it to me. And I was like, yeah, started the ukulele. Then Christmas came around and I got this little pink hat. And it sort of evolved into that. And but it's now almost like, I didn't realize it at first, but it's now an ongoing art project, because I'm doing this. I said to myself, I'm doing this every day for a year. So currently right now, I've sent out probably 2,005, because I pre-record them, then send it to them. I've sent like nearly at 2,500 birthdays. And the interesting thing is that my Facebook, I've done quite a few sales and promotions jobs anyway. So there's a lot of people on my Facebook that I have no idea who they are, and they probably have no idea who I am. So maybe I've had like half a second interaction at best, because it's just like some kind of lead spamming or whatever. But it's amazing. Even the people that don't know me, I send it to them. I'm like, and the amount of good positivity I've got back from it, like, it's been unreal. Like, loads of little opportunities have arisen. Like, I got myself just a few things. I got myself a surf sponsorship out of it. I got because I sang Happy Birthday to the right person. I got this girl that I sort of knew briefly years ago messaged me and said, "Hey, do you want to come on and to a Zoom chat with my work?" And they're basically a big, huge tech company, and I had to do a Zoom chat I got paid 50 quid for 20 minutes just to talk about mental health, because it was Mental Health Week. A couple of those guys signed up to the Patreon as well. And yeah, just loads of little things. Also now, out of that, I think it was out of that as well, I'm also going to be doing a university lecture, a couple of them at the end of the year for Middlesex University for the criminology students, because my friend was like, "I really want you. I think you're going to be really good to inspire these students." And I'm like, all right, okay, cool. So just loads of little opportunities have arisen because I've been doing this and reconnecting with people that I might not have spoken to for a while. And for an insights as well, it's been really, really interesting, because people will message me back and say, I've been watching all your stuff. It's amazing. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Do you want to sign up to my Karma Card project? And I've got commissions out of it as well.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's been all right. Amazing.
I should have started with that. That should have been my first question, because it's put a massive smile on my face. That's quality. And if you can spread that love and give that sort of like positivity out into the world, that is an awesome job.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the same as the karma cards, really. It's exactly the same kind of thing. It's something that's a little bit outside the box and something that's a bit unusual, which is going to make a powerful impact. Yeah.
I think you've started something there. I think in a couple of years' time, you'll see everyone walking around with like crazy Christmas hats on their head, singing with a ukulele.
Right. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I'll be the first person that's done it for a whole entire year, and no one's done it yet. So yeah. At the end of this year, I'm thinking about, I'm obviously going to make a vlog about it. So if you're going to follow my YouTube channel, you're going to look forward to that. If you have me on Facebook, you might even be part of it. So I'll be singing "Happy Birthday" to you. But yeah. So
one last question. Okay, this is one that I'm going to try and use as every sort of day question that I'm going to put on every podcast, which is, what is the most courageous thing that you've ever seen or heard?
Do you know, you did send me that as the pre-question, and I was racking my brains, and that's a hard question, actually. But
I thought your little singing there was pretty courageous, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, I would say since starting my journey, I've had a lot of people sort of reach out to me and open up about their mental health, and they've not told anyone before, and sometimes are complete strangers. So it really makes me kind of well up thinking about this, because they're seeing what I've done, and I've obviously done a vlog about my own mental health. It's called Angels Part 1 and Angels Part 2 if you want to go and check that out. But yeah, I've had people sort of message me that I don't know that well, or I might have known years ago, and just out of the blue have just reached out to me and said that they're struggling. And I think, like, hats off to those people. Like, that is so brave. And and hopefully I can help as many people as possible with doing that. But yeah, that's something that I've loved seeing over the last few months.
Ah, cool. Thank you very much for your time, Graham. Last time, I'm just going to quickly throw out there again, Graham Cullis Art on YouTube. Go there, look at his work. He's got some fantastic stuff. If not, look for him on Facebook or on Instagram. I really appreciate having you on the podcast as my first interviewee. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes.
And we actually, the only reason I've found you is because you actually did a little ukulele thing for me on Instagram. So
yeah. Do you know what? I do that quite often for people that I want to collaborate with. Like it's I'll send it's something that everyone sends texts. Can you, or like a little cold email, like, oh, can we collaborate, like that? And half the time people don't look at those. So I'm like, I'll send a video, and they have to open it. And the intrigue to know what the flip this video is like is too much. It's too much for them. So I know they're going to watch it. So that's something that, in a marketing sense,
it's really good, actually. It's really clever, really clever, because not only that, it's personalized. So they're like, oh, this is about me. Yeah.
Sometimes I even put titles on it. But yeah, no, it's good.
You've been great, Graham. I really appreciate having you on.
Oh yeah. Also, Karma Card Project, patreon.com/Graham Cullis Art.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Look forward to working with you again. I'm sure that I'll see you around. If one of these festivals comes up again, give us a shout, and I'll see if I can come down.
Nice one. Amazing. It was great to be on it.
Okay, so there you have it. There's my first interview for Blue Pigment Podcast Season 2, Episode 1. Graham Cullis, fantastic guy. Love speaking to him. After I'd stopped recording, we did have a bit more to talk about and a bit more to say. Really great guy, fantastic person to speak to. And like I did say during the interview, if you want to find him, go to Graham Cullis Art on YouTube. He's also on patreon.com, Instagram, Facebook. Go check it out. An absolute character. And if you want him to sing happy birthday for anyone in particular, get hold of him on Instagram. Hi. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I have, and I look forward to providing you with as many episodes as I can in Season 2 and get some really good characters on here to interview for your benefit. And if you like what you're listening to and you want me to continue with this, go to patreon.com/Blue Pigment, become a patron of mine. And then, I'll bring you as much content as I can. Thank you for listening. The opinions or views expressed on this podcast are solely of my own or the guests and do not represent the opinions or views of anybody else or the Ministry of Defence.
Shish kebab, Shawshank Redemption, Chicago! You're out of there!